Technical difficulties happen sometimes. Let's go back to Lili. She is talking about that night in December when all hell broke loose and her world was shattered temporarily. Go.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I was filming the match with Vic and Rafa on the outside of the ring. And then I was like, I knew they were gonna do some crazy shit because they're just both crazy, intense guys, athletes, wrestlers. And when that last moment happened, I saw Rafa fall, boom, and then everything was kind of like, ah. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, something's wrong. And I was like, huh. And then I started going around the back. And sure enough, when I got back there, it was just complete chaos. And I just remember being like, oh my God, something happened. And I had like a really bad feeling, like a horrible feeling. And it was crazy as I had that feeling before their match started. Like I just felt weird, about things. Anyways, they get back there and then everyone was just going crazy, like, call 911, call 911, blah, blah, blah. It was insane. And no one knew what happened. Like people were thinking the worst. Like people were thinking all of these things, and of course, like, yeah, no one knows what the hell actually happened up until that point. But I just remember the feeling that I had was just complete helplessness, disbelief, and just like one of those things where you're like, oh my God, not my Victor, like you just never think it's gonna happen to you. You don't think it's gonna happen to your loved one. Like, no, like it's Vic. Like, come on, like what? Like, no, this can't be true, they didn't let me go to the ring to see him because I was just in bad shape as well. I couldn't even think straight of what was happening. But finally, when the ambulance came, we got to the hospital. He was talking, he was moving. I'm like, oh, thank God. We get to the hospital, and I guess after, like, recently he told me he actually doesn't remember any of that.
Oh my
And
God.
so, yeah, he doesn't remember any of that. And it was crazy because when we got to the hospital, I was like, you remember? I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? What hurts? He's like, what happened? And I was like, you just had a match. I'm like, remember your match? And he's like, I had a match? I'm like, yeah, you did. I'm like, it was against Rafa, remember? He's like, oh. And then I was like, do you remember like what promotion we're at? He's like, yeah, CSW. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, and you got hurt because like things went wrong. And he's like, really? I did? He did not remember
Oh my
anything.
God.
I was so freaked out. I was just like, oh my God. But then like the nurse and the doctor came and they were asking him like date of birth and everything. And he was answering and it was fine. But then like later on, he just told me he didn't remember any of that. He didn't remember the ambulance ride. He didn't remember any of that. And so it was just insane. But now fast forward, like seeing his recovery and everything that he's gone through, he didn't need surgery. Thank God. He had a
Yeah.
grade 3 AC sprain. Apparently that's very common with wrestlers. And so I know Rhea Ripley has it, CM Punk has it, and a few other Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke has it. Like there's a bunch of other wrestlers who have that and have been wrestling just fine, and it's a grade 3. And seeing him go from injury to where he's at now, where he's 100% healed, is just crazy to me. And being able to see the level that he's getting to now and how smooth he's gotten in the ring, in training, like in his matches, like sometimes I'm even like, oh my God, I'm like, are you okay? Like I see him take a move, I'm like, are you okay? He goes, yeah, I'm perfect. I'm like, oh, okay. Like just wondering. But that doesn't leave you, the worry doesn't leave you with your loved one, But just being able to go through that experience with him was something it's the definition of perseverance, hard work, and just being so stubborn that you're like, no, I'm not, like, I'm in too deep. Like, I'm gonna fucking finish what I started. And so that always inspires me every day when I step into the ring. I'm like, we could take this shit for granted a lot of times. And until something like that happens, like knock on this, like you think like, oh damn, like, oh my God, I can't do this because I'm hurt or something.
Right.
But being able to be in the moment and like enjoying the journey, I think has been the biggest lesson for me in that whole entire situation and in wrestling in general.
What a chaotic night that was. The look on Hades' face as he stood over Vic and Raf. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I thought it was much worse. I'll put it that way based on what I saw fortunately, Vic has done great in rehabbing, and he is absolutely killing it right now, as are you. So the dynamic duo, the super couple of CSW out there killing it everywhere they go.
Amen, baby. Amen. Just blessed to be here, Steve.
So
And just appreciate everything
oh man,
so
we
far.
love you guys so much. And I know you got to get going, but where do you want to go? What does Lily want out of this business? Because I feel like, at this point, the sky could be the limit for you. I mean, it kind of is already, but where do you want to see yourself next year, year after? Are you looking for one of the big ones? I mean, are you just happy with the way the progress goes? What does Pescadito want?
Oh man, I'm looking for the big one. I want to be signed. I want to make it to the big time. I want to be in WWE. I want to be doing my thing up there. I want to be in TNA. Like I want a contract and I want to be able to perform on the biggest stages with the biggest names. And I think outside of the contract, I also want to be able to be like, I just put up a fucking banger with this person and be able to say that consistently in and out of a big stage ring. I want to be able to say, like, anywhere that I go, that I just put up a fucking banger. And I want to be able to leave the impression with others who work with me. I want them to be able to say, wow, I had so much fun working with this person. Maybe it was a off night for that person, and I was able to carry them through the match and just to be able to do that, do what Deanna did for me, I think on Friday, and literally hold my hand through the whole process. I want to be able to do that with somebody. And I think that right there, putting up bangers and on the big stage for sure.
Bangers indeed. Deanna was just a delight to work with. I'm glad I got to watch it. I'm glad I got to call it. I just got a chance to see the early footage of that match and it all put together. And I think you're going to be really, really pleased with the way that it looks. It is excellent.
I love it. I love it. Yep.
You
Amazing to
got to
see.
give me some feedback because if I'm not doing my job making you look great, you come kick ass, huh?
I enjoyed it so much, Steve. Like I really did, and I feel like the commentary and the storytelling in that match was like it hit the nail on the head. I thought it was just amazing, an amazing thing overall. Just to be able to live it and then to go back and see it, it's like, all right, we get in there.
Good times indeed. Listen, we know you got to go. We appreciate you taking time out to hang out with us for tonight. We hope you'll come back when you're rocking that CSW gold because I
Oh,
forget
amen.
it before the end of the year. It's got to be you.
Amen, baby. I will be back. Mark my
All
words.
right. The one and only, the amazing La Pescadita. It is so great to have you on the show. Bless your heart and thank you so much.
Thank you both so much. Really
All right,
appreciate
now
the
get
time.
out of here, go do your thing, and we're going to talk about you behind your back.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Lily.
Bye.
Man, it's been a struggle, Red. What the hell is happening in my electronic world?
Really, I know you ain't asking me shit. You already know how I feel.
I adore working with her because she emotes stories in such grand scale that it's like cherry picking calling her matches. She makes it easy to follow along with what she's selling. I wish there were 10 of her. And when you hear Tiffany Nieves talk about her, and when you hear Deanna talk about her, and all the CSW, from Blair to Missa to everyone, everybody loves Lily.
Dude, like every time I've been around her, she has such this energy and it radiates off of her and like you can't help but like want to be around her more and more. Like her smile is infectious. You know what I'm saying? Like she is just a awesome person to be around.
She
So
feels it with her whole being when she's in that ring. It is special to watch. And right now, CSW it's inevitably going to come down to Amina and Lili at some point, and that might be one of those matches that we talk about for a long, long time.
I have no problem with it.
I
And
wish we had, I wish we had 10 Lilies at CSW because that's how good she is. And she's talking about Inestra Victor. Um, that dude is unkillable. He is a mat technician on another level. And the fact that they're both training with Ali right now and they're going to get better, I can't even fathom what that's going to look like.
um I guarantee, and I don't say that often, I guarantee she will be picked up by somebody, if not before, by the end of the year, by mid near next year.
I sure hope so. We've been pretty fortunate at CSW getting people to the next level. Lycan has gotten to the next level. Obviously, Sky got to the next level. Maggie, Heather Reckless, they are doing amazing things right now. You're seeing them on NXT a little bit. Um, I feel like CSW is giving those bigger promotions well instructed, well developed talent that can do it not only in the ring, but can do it in a promo. Good locker room people. Look, I feel like we're
You,
the pipeline.
you know what I love? Don't tell him this. Um, but I put a lot of this on Boz. Boz learned from the best, and the best was Sam DeCero. Sam had a way, if he really believed in you, he had a way of getting people's eyes on you. Um, Again, like Boz, think about Boz. Boz was on WWE from time to time, especially people forget. We don't forget because we're older, so we understand. Like Shotgun Saturday Night. Like, come on now. So Sam had that niche, and I think what Boz did was never forget how to, when he sees somebody that he really believes in, how to go and get them opportunities that they deserve and get those eyes looked at. That is why a lot of the ladies' locker room of CSW is going to NWA, TNA, NXT. Why? Because Boz has made those connections and using those connections to get these ladies looked at. And it's working. It's a fucking proven talent, right?
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, everything you said about Boz doing what Boz does and what he's been doing for many years is true. But Boss has been there through the good times and the bad times, right? CSW has ebbed and flowed over the years. There were moments in CSW history that come right back to you and you remember them with glory and grandeur. And then there's a period of CSW where, they were doing okay. They had some decent stories. Right now, in the moment, with the production, with the storytelling, with the decision making, with the resources spent in different ways than it may have been done before, you have to give props and respect to the unsung hero of all of it. And I'm here to tell you,
That's Hades.
I was part of CSW before a little bit. And
That no, I was. You got to remember, I was there in the very first night I was
right,
there,
right, right. I got that. But here's the thing.
and to see where
Yeah.
Hades has now taken it. Oh shit! It's unbelievable.
I say this ad nauseum, and I don't think people like it because I say it whether I'm, I work many places and, I love everywhere I work. Rocket Pro, Frontline, ARW. You know, I am blessed with opportunities and I'm well aware of that. And everybody that runs a promotion that employs me is part of my story and they're people that I love. The Shelleys, love them. Braun the Lumberjack Chano, love him. Ben, love him. They have put me in positions that I never thought I would ever be in. And it's magical. Even a little bit daisy at NWA, even though I think I'm the worst ring announcer ever, but that's neither here nor there. But when I thought I was out of the business, Hades gave me a shot. Let me see what you can do with this character. And that was almost 6 years ago. And since Hades took over, that's when I came in. And I came in because TJ Steele said, hey, this guy had kind of a raw deal. He's good at what he does. Can we give him a shot? And Hades said, "Yeah, let's give him a shot." But he's got to earn. He's got to prove it. To this day, everything that this business has done for me of the last 5 years is because Hades believed enough to keep me involved. And nowadays, we talk and when I have ideas, he listens, he gives me a big leash on commentary. He believes in me and makes me believe in myself. And that right there is the magic of Hades. Hades believes in you so hard that you can't help but believe in yourself. And that's what makes these kids special because he believes in them so much that they can't help but prosper. So,
Well, I won't disagree. I've never worked for Hades, but I've worked with Hades. And I mean, we've just wrestled on the same shows and or participated. He wrestled and I might have managed, or it might have been a few times I've wrestled on the same show. But when you talk to him and you ask him, "Hey, did you see it?" You know, he gives you that real. He doesn't sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying?
it's not.
Like he'll tell you, yeah, you should have been here, or you should have did that, or no, that was fucking awesome. I've heard that a few times, and that's what I always appreciated from Hades. That no matter what, Hades was always honest. And I appreciated that. I think, the people that I was around and surrounded myself with, Jazz and Marche and Willie and Trauma, you know, um, I appreciated it, you know. So, I mean, dude, but I know, and I don't think it's you saying anything or brown nosing or kissing up to the boss or whatever anybody else fucking says. I think it's the simple fact that you pay homage to somebody that while you were getting ready to walk away, they kind of gave you that second lifeline and said, "Okay, I'm a trust you with this, but you got to deliver what you say you can deliver." And shit, for 6 years or 5 years, you've been delivering every show, whether it's in
Yeah.
character or whether it's, and I don't think people really grasp the concept. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass right now. I believe I'm telling the truth that people don't get that you're trying to play a character and then go behind a microphone and be impartial and stay sometimes in character at the same time. You're trying to really do two jobs at once. That shit is hard.
And
That
then
shit is hard because
add ring announcer to it.
right. No, then there's three. And
Man,
well,
that
ring
was
announcer again. All you got to do is just this is this person, and coming out is this person, and that's it. And I'm not saying it's easy because I've done it, um, but that's pretty. You're pretty, clean, straightforward.
Got to
But
talk to that girl.
when you're a character and you've got to portray, okay, I'm the good guy, I'm the good GM. This is yeah, all right. But then you've got to go right behind a mic and then call a match and not seem too biased, but call it down the middle where hey, it's entertaining, it's informative, it's telling the story. Dude, a lot of people get lost in that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people get
Well,
lost.
that's very nice, very kind. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hades, when I'm done and I'm gone and I've been gone for a few years, I'll still talk to Hades. There are a lot of people in this business I'll probably never see again, but Hades is not one of them. He's become a friend, he's become a confidant. He's a great guy. He's injured right now. We wish him well. I don't know if he's gonna
Yeah, I just saw that today.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever going to make it back in the ring and be Jason Hades, the wrestler. But Jason Hades, the guy that's the straw that stirs the drink at CSW, is one of the great minds that I have ever had a chance to work with or for in this business. And like I said, CSW, it's my home. I love everywhere I work. I would love for them all to be my home, but there can only be one place. I'm Steve from CSW. That's just it. I've been there a long time. I've spent a lot of years working hard through some of the most ridiculous shit. I got hired and then we had a fucking pandemic. So I'm your pandemic GM. So, again, we stayed with it through that and now here we are and it's been a joy and it's still a joy. Um and Lili, I think by the end of the year is going to be your CSW Women's Champion. She's due. The crowd adores her. She's the queen of Shy Style. It's another Shy Style Friday night. It just seems to it works. We had that show, Trial by Fire. Let's talk a little bit about it before we move on. The birthday boy, Jax Johnson, took on Victor Analog. The story of Jack Johnson continues to evolve. Now, I have been working with this man since the GPW days in 2018, where he was Sweet Tea. He has evolved and become something better than I ever could have imagined. And now he is starting to see the fruits of his labor because the fans really love this gaming geek character he's playing. And Victor Analog, for a man that comes to the ring with a TV on his head, electrifies the crowd. So they had a great match. Jax Johnson won on his birthday, which never happens. Usually, when it's your birthday or you're in your hometown, you get your ass handed to you on a plate. Right, C Red?
Usually, usually you don't. I feel bad when like people come. They be like, "I'm from Chicago," and it's like, he losing. Don't worry about it.
We had a six-man scramble, and Inestra was in that scramble along with Machine 17, FXB, Chris Miller, and Joey Pearson, the Juice King. Inestra won it because Inestra is a next level character. And but this scramble had so many moving parts. Uh Machine 17, Lizard Boy, Nathan Nile, and KJ Carter are really coming into their own as a special tag team. And the Juice King is on fire. In fact, this Friday night at NWA Chicago, which I will not be at, unfortunately. I'm on wife duty and my son's going to college. So this Friday night's a no-no for me. But Juice King is fighting Boz at NWA Chicago at the Summer
I
Sizzler.
saw that.
So, his rent is going up. But I can tell you this. What I saw out of Chris Miller in this match was a whole new Chris Miller. Chris Miller has probably dropped 50 pounds. Chris Miller is in the best shape I have ever seen him. And he was flying out of the ring. like a 747 taxiing on the runway at O'Hare. He did one of those jumps. Chris Miller gets slept on an awful lot because he's been around, he does his job, he does what he's told, he does it very well. You know, you think about Brooklyn Brawler. He was employed by the WWE for 32 years. 32 years to work in a place like that. Why was he there? Because he did whatever he was asked to do and he did it well. That's Chris Miller. And he looked great in this match. I was starting to think that maybe I want him to win this match. He was looking that good. But it was a Nestra's night, and let's not get crazy. I still want to whip Chris Miller's ass, but I don't think I could do it as easily anymore. I think he'd whip my ass again. But another good win for Inestra. And, when it comes to Inestra, the sky's the limit. He's going to have gold around his waist before long. You heard it in Lili's voice. He's a special talent, and everybody at CSW knows it. You heard Lili be very humble about her match with Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo, we've had many people come in and be visiting dignitaries. We've had Megan Bain. We've had, the Luchasaurus, Tommy Dream. We've had all of them. Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana. So many superstars have come in. And some have been really good. Jacob Fatu, when he came in, was really nice to everybody, which was pretty cool. And this was during a bad time for him. And now look where he is now, right?
True.
And we have guys like, Scott Garland. Not so nice. Not so good. Still hold a grudge, but that's neither here nor there. That one's for you, Travis. They play games now with what I say, and they've counted how many times I've said these things. It's JFW sport. I'm glad I could be your entertaining compass. Deonna Purrazzo might be the nicest special guest star we have ever had. She was lovely to everybody. She did meet and greet before. She did meet and greet after. As I was leaving to go home, Deonna Purrazzo is still there. And she was lovely and nice. And people she hasn't been around in a minute, and people give her a lot of crap. I thought she looked fantastic. I thought she was every bit la virtuosa that I have seen on television. She moved and commanded that ring and commanded that crowd. At one point in the show, they were chanting, "Let's go, Lili. Let's go, Purrazzo. Let's go, Lili." So we had a Hogan Rock moment. That's how much they gripped that audience. That's what a great match that was. And I hope Deonna Purrazzo returns to CSW someday because she is a joy to work with. She told me some things about commentary that she wanted me to, they never do that. They never come to commentary and say, "Hey, do this." It was great. 100 of her. So that match was straight fire. The Metro Division champion. We have a new Metro Division champion. Axel Rico defeats Hans Carden in what I can only call Red, you love good wrestling, and this was at its finest. Axel has fought so hard his entire career, and the Metro Division title was the first title he ever challenged for back when Jake Andrews had it. Remember Jake? Remember old Jake? Jake from State Farm? Remember him?
Of course.
So that's how long Axel has been doing what he does. And, Hans Carden has become a bona fide superstar. And this match absolutely spit fire all over the crowd. And when Axel will run it, just the crowd pop. I had to sit back on commentary to take it in because I was so happy for him. I was so happy for Hans, who was so good in that match. It was an absolute feel-good moment. And we have a new champ, and I can't wait to see what Axel does with his belt. Now, if he teams with Ares again and goes after the tag team champions, he will be rarefied air because he'll get the Grand Slam. Haven't been many of those at CSW, see Red. You know who was one of them? Jazz.
Who?
Jazz.
What up?
Your boy, A Jizzle. We'll get to him in a minute. The tag team match between Adam Stallion and Eric Schultz versus Cypher and Rafael Quintero. It was everything you thought it would be. It was two men in way over their head. But the situation between Stallion and Cypher went unresolved, and there's something brewing there. I don't know what it is. Adam Stallion still has an effect over Cypher. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it was a situation where Schultz had a legal document that said Cypher could not touch Stallion in the match. So how are you going to have a tag team match when somebody can't touch somebody, right? It happened. It happened.
But look who drew up. Look who drew it up. Schultz.
Well, we need Schultz because you see Rion's not here, right?
Yeah.
Rion's still in jail. We need to get Schultz to get over there and get his ass out of Porter County's lockup.
You think Schultz is going to do us a favor?
He might. Maybe we'll invite him back on and he'll do us a favor if we have him back on. We'll let him use his megaphone on the show.
Oh, fuck that.
Other matches that happened. Blair Onyx defeats Shazza McKenzie. It was a great match, back and forth. Two of the top talents. You know, I was going to say women talent, but that's not right. Two of the top talents in the business. Have you caught Shazza McKenzie's little vignettes about a day in the life of wrestling? She is such an entertaining person. And that accent is the shit. And Blair Onyx, the Arachnid, is one of the most eye-catching characters you've ever seen because you're scared shitless of her when you see her because she's so random. And this match went back and forth until the Nihilists showed up and cost Shazza the match, which sucked. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Ryan Matthews took on the Warhorse. How long on this show have we ripped on, dissed, and just out and out made fun of Ryan Matthews?
Every time.
Every time. Ryan Matthews took an ass whipping from the commissar. His chest, when it was done, looked like ground round that you would buy at the Jewel Deli or at the Jewel meat counter, right? I have never seen it as bad. You know how fair-skinned he is.
Yeah.
And the Warhorse chopped the shit out of him. And it looked like he had a half pound of beef right smack dab in his chest. He took the beating and would not go down. Would not tap, would not be pinned. In the end, the Warhorse did win, but Ryan Matthews put the performance of a lifetime. And I hope everybody watches it on IWTV because Ryan Matthews changed the opinions of a great many fans. And at the end of the match, when he was walking out, he got the nicest cheers from a crowd that has hated him for the last 5 years. We saw the birth of a hero. And we need heroes right now, man. Let's face it. Who would have thought it would be Ryan Matthews? And the Warhorse is put on notice. And the bad part is the Nihilists returned and they carried Shazza McKenzie out and they made her watch him absolutely take apart Ryan Matthews a piece at a time. It was hard to watch, man, but boy, Ryan Matthews stepped up, showed up, and showed out. And it was amazing to watch. There was a tag team match. The Hype. These are the guys that are the bookies, the betters. Took on Jack Valor and Shane Boucher. Now, Shane Boucher and Jack Valor have hooked up because Eddie Grayson's injured. But Eddie Grayson accompanied him to the ring. And it looked for a moment like Boucher and Grayson had a little bit of animosity because Valor and Boucher have become quite the tag team. So what happens when Eddie gets better and wants to reunite with Valor. Has Valor moved on, and is Boucher his tag team partner now? Because Boucher's had tag team gold. In the end, the Hype covered all their parlays and won the match. But now we have some dissension in the ranks, and now the Hype have moved up in the rankings. So Hunter Holdcraft and 12 gauge, the Hype did their job and they covered their parlays. So I guess that's the important thing. And then we had the mess.
The mess.
The mess, the main event. I call it the mess because it was a fucking mess. The night started. The first thing that happened was Tupu and Marston found a bloodied Missa Kate beaten up in the parking lot by a dumpster. So she was unable to perform. So I came out to get medical attention and I said, you guys need to find a partner, somebody sturdy, somebody unbreakable, somebody that the fans love. Be careful when you're GM what you ask for because you just may get it. Then we find out Conan Lycan still unavailable. That's some shit to overcome. Am I right?
Yeah, two of your top stars
Taking on
are subject to
and
change.
Boz and Bruss. And then you got the tag team champions teaming up with the heavyweight champion, teaming up with the women's champion, Amina Belmont. There's a lot of gold. Does that mean Amina Belmont's a made woman? Fuck you. And that's don't do this. Don't do this, Red. Stick to this. Don't do this. Now you're just trying to piss me off. The first replacement member came out. Now, do you remember I said find someone sturdy, unbreakable, and the fans love? So who do you think they brought out?
No clue.
The table from the previous show that Bruss jumped up and down on and could not break. And when they brought the table to the ring as their partner, Bruss Hamilton lost his mind and it took him straight out of his game.
Wow.
And when the table got introduced, the place lost its shit. The place lost its shit. So Marston, Tupu, the table, but there's one more. Pulling double duty on the night, Rafael Quintero, the diamond in the rough, shows up to back up Team CSW against the Made Men. Shit got heated. He did. And it was an elimination match. So there's a lot of pins that had to happen before you came down to the final two. Final two was Quintero and Marche Rocket. You know how it ended?
No.
The diamond in the rough pinned the champion.
Oh, shit.
So now everybody's got me thinking, well, Marche couldn't pin Quintero, but Quintero pinned all day. So what does that mean? You know what that means. How did the kids say it? New champ. Ooh, ooh, new champ.
Well, the match ain't happened yet.
It's coming, Red. It's coming. I predict that he takes down Marche at some point. Because Marche has no answers for Quintero. I like to call him old day Marche Rocket at this point.
I dare you to say that to his face.
Oh, you better not listen to commentary then.
No, not on. I want you to call it to his face.
Well, I did kind of call it to him in his face when he told me that I was supposed to pay him last month. I challenged him. I almost went and got my boots on and climbed that ladder, but I'm like, nah, let Tupu do it. Fans wanted me to go too. Fans be crazy. I ain't going. Ain't going. Don't need it. After what Stone and Shaq did to me, I don't need that smoke. But here we are. So that was Trial by Fire. Next show, September. Card subject to change. All bets are off. All bets are fucking off. Anything could happen, and probably will. Rion is not here. Cactus is not here, which is unfortunate because Cactus was at Trial by Fire. Wanted to hear her thoughts on it. Rion can't be here because there's no Zoom in prison. So let's get to the Sheriff's Slamboree. Did we have a great time, Red?
I think we did.
You think we did?
I mean, I know I did.
You think we did?
I know I did.
There was catering, motherfucker. Where do we have
Yes.
that ever?
Well, I've had that before, but
Well, I ain't never had it.
you know.
I had to go to an LRP award show, and they're still with the cover charge. Here, you can have this, but you got to pay for it. That's chicken. Chicken's good, right? It's not privileged catfish like Max Holiday enjoys, but that's again for Travis. That's a story for another time. Privileged catfish, that is. I thought from start to finish, it was, for being a charity show, for being a show that's put together with a bunch of different people from a bunch of different places. I thought from start to finish, it told some really good stories. Starting off with Josh Moon versus Brendan Balling with James Creed the bitch weaseling his way in.
Let me just interrupt you for a second. You got to remember, dude, I hear you talking about these guys for the past couple of months, and it's like, okay, all right, Steve's just blowing smoke up my ass. Okay.
Oh, and I don't do that.
To watch Moon and Balling, oh my God, I was, matter of fact, not just them, but throughout the night, we would see the up and coming stars in ARW. I was like, holy shit. Like, they can go. And I mean, when have you ever seen a pre-show match that hot?
That had
A pre-show match
with a title at stake.
I mean, we still got people walking in and they're ripping the shit apart. It was like, what the fuck?
And it didn't stop there.
No.
It didn't stop there. We had Schultz versus Diamond versus Sean Sabotage Logan, who's one of my favorites. And the program being Schultz and Diamond, I thought that put Sabotage at a very big disadvantage, and it did. But in the end,
did it?
The fabric of the program has been tested, and your old buddy Uncle Drip Drip's got some problems.
Hey, that's his problems.
Why
I ain't got nothing to do with
Drip Drip there? Why wasn't
you
Drip there? They brought him into commentary.
For what? We don't need no third person. We good.
You guys have a touches reunion.
No, we straight. We good. 2-man team. That's the powwow, baby. 2-man team.
You and Willie are family.
Steve,
Uncle Red, Uncle Drip, Drip,
family.
Uncle Drip, Uncle Rip, Uncle Drip Drip, Uncle Red. Who's better?
Uncle Red.
He's a manager. You're a manager. Is he better than you?
I've been doing this shit much longer, Steve. You know that.
I do. I just want to hear you rip on Willie a little bit.
Just say it. Often imitated, but never duplicated, baby. There's only one Red.
Well, when they get back in September, ARW is going to have some shit with that program because that's broken. I don't think Schultz is very happy with Diamond. So, great match though. Um, I was, we had talked about it on this show, and I asked Maverick Cage and Cody Breeze if we were going to get, was it possible for Moxie Molly to be there? And he said anything could happen, but I wasn't ready for it.
Neither one of us were.
The fact that Moxie teamed up with the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star, against the Mime and the Cat.
The Lion.
The Cat. I thought we provided some outstanding entertainment for the people sitting within earshot of our table while that shit was going on.
Oh, of course. I think we did that all night.
I do too, but we had so much fun with that match because it was so over the top. It was so good. And Moxie's been gone a while and it's supposedly her last match. And that may very well be true. But you couldn't tell me that watching her in the ring. I thought she was every bit as good as she's ever been. And let's remember how far Moxie Molly went. She fought Sasha Banks on Raw.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
When she was Sasha Banks.
That what I'm saying is, Moxie was right at the pinnacle. And then she, had a child and, obviously her priorities in life changed. But her stories are great. The fact that she took her paycheck and got her real estate license and now is a successful real estate agent. And then all of a sudden the dimensional portal rips open and the Shiro is back. And the story in real life is almost better than the story in the ring. And that's what I've always loved about Moxie Molly / Caitlyn. She takes a situation and finds a way to make it so spectacular that you just can't help but feel good after it's over.
Oh,
and I love that match.
No doubt, no doubt. I think that was our second favorite match of the night.
It was. It was a really, really good match. And then it was the lovely Miss Larkin versus Alexis Littlefoot. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Miss Larkin is fruitier than a nut cake. That's what the fuck happened.
She pulled a knife. There was a knife, Red. There was a goddamn knife in that ring.
I didn't see a knife.
There was a knife, Red. She stabbed that woman 4 times. That's a felony. And the sheriff just sat there and did nothing.
What got me is she started talking, and we thought she was talking to the audience, to the crowd.
No.
She was talking to her damn self because she was answering her damn self.
She's got those Randy Orton voices in her head.
Dude, no, but she talked. Orton, if he's got voices in his head, they stay in his head.
Her voices came out.
Right. They were like, what the hell? What the?
I thought
never mind.
We needed an exorcist. But that's the kind of night it was. It was a night of moments.
I mean, I think
what about your boy Dave Allen? What about your boy Dave Allen?
What about him? I mean,
he got chopped by a police officer.
Yeah, he got punched by a police officer. That was a gut shot. I mean, congratulations to Billy the Kid on winning the four-way elimination style match for the Sherrif trophy. I ain't gonna lie, he impressed me. I thought at one point Dave had the match, but Billy the Kid hung in there, and Angus, I haven't seen Angus so mad and so long, but oh my God, he was pissed off from the beginning. I mean, at one point I was like, oh shit, he got a chance. Oop, nope, nope. And Billy the Kid was so resilient. Like at one point, I knew he was knocked the fuck out. I just knew it. I'm like, the kid is down. He ain't getting back up. It's over with. It's and he pulled the shit off. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed.
It
I
was
was impressed.
pretty impressive. Uh,
Um, Cal
OVW,
Hero,
yeah, holding out for a Cal Hero, essentially came in to Porter County and retired Mikey Wild in one of the most unlikely matches that you would see.
just the simple fact that Mikey felt it was his time, and there was a couple of times where we thought maybe he could pull the upset.
I thought it
You
was
know,
pretty cool when Mikey was rolling, and you look back in the back of the arena and you see Dave Hero and Al Snow kind of perplexed, like, what's going on here? Because you have the heart and soul of OVW watching the match from afar, watching the champion defending the match in a 2 out of 3 falls, and it being even right down to the wire.
and we kind of touched on it on commentary, like what the fuck would OVW TV look like
Mikey
this
Wild's the
week?
champion, right?
Right, like what the fuck? Like, wow. But
It's good to see that OVW is in such good hands because, Cal Hero is that guy.
I
And
agree.
like I said, I've had a chance. I've had a chance to see him work a couple of times now and call his matches. And he's one of the people that is carrying on such a rich tradition. And you know how much OVW means to Al Snow. You know how much legacy means to Dave Hero. And for him to put on that kind of performance and steal the night, chef's kiss.
I agree.
And then things got a little crazy. Things got a little wacky.
No, we got to go to the match before.
All right, go to the match before.
The IPW League Championship.
I'm disappointed in that match because I thought Shaq Jordan got screwed.
How?
Because Miles Mercer is a cheat.
How did he cheat?
Miles Mercer is a no good cheat. IPW champion should be Shaq Jordan.
How did he cheat?
I'll tell you what. The crowd loved Shaq Jordan. Didn't give a crap about Miles Mercer. Loved Shaq Jordan.
At the end of the day, who walked away still IPW League Champion?
I kind of feel like you interfered.
I was sitting next to you.
You were doing a lot of this shit. You were doing a lot of that shit.
My hands did not go up at all.
I feel like C-Red went to the bathroom. Mr. Young took over.
From what I know, Mr. Young can't stand Miles Mercer. So,
agree to disagree. But you know what? Here's the thing about that match. These are two people that we know so well. I imagine that if I got right down to it and added up all the people who I've called matches for over the years, Miles would be neck and neck with Marche Rocket of a person that I have called more matches for than anyone. From King of the Pre-Show, 8 years ago or 10 years ago at CTW to shows like this and SCW and IPW. So, Miles Mercer, I give him a lot of crap, but he's the king. I'll give that up. He's the king.
that's all I'm saying.
But Shaq Jordan is a generational treasure, man. He's the big stepper.
Hey, I'm not. Hey, again, both of them.
I want to run that match back like 100 times and see how we do.
And I think they could. I think they could. And I think we would have to run it back 100 times because honestly, either one of them could take home the victory
No, I think it
any
works
night.
like this. We run that match 100 times. Miles Mercer wins the one he won, and then Shaq wins the other 99.
No,
That's
no,
that's that's reality, Red. That's just
no,
that's just basic math, Red.
no,
You're supposed to be a
no.
teacher for God's sake. That's math.
I teach pet lab. No, no math. No math.
And now we get to whatever the fuck the main event was. That's all I can say. Well, I don't know what the fuck that was, but I know the crowd went crazy.
Shit, the crowd we went crazy.
Yeah.
Trying to call that was
It it was happening the building. It was in like an auditorium. I mean, no, it was like a convention center, right? So
yeah.
it is this big giant room with 100 yards. I mean, it was voluminous. There was shit happening everywhere. Couldn't see half of it until they came right over in front of our commentary table.
And
But
oh my God. And I swore to God, James Storm had Kevin Thorne, and I was like, they coming straight for this fucking table. No.
yeah, we were in peril, that's for sure. Uh, James Storm sat Kevin Thorne on some fans and beat the crap out of him while he sat on fans. Damnedest thing I ever saw, man. How do you feel about our friends Rion and Max?
um Again, hopefully Rihanna be getting released soon. I don't think so much about Max.
Well, Max, accrued more crimes than Rion did. After the loss was over, Rion was a good sport. They put him in handcuffs and he went peacefully. Max resisted arrest, tried to assault an officer, and ran out the building while they were chasing him. When you resist arrest, they will shoot your ass. So Max could be dead. We don't know.
No, remember, I mean, Max, he ran out the door and then he ran back in the door and then tried to make a shortcut through the ring and they tackled his ass.
Brother, you know what?
I thought they were, I didn't think they were going to shoot him, but I thought they were going to tase his ass.
Yeah, they're going to tase him too. The big takeaway from that match for me was how much in wrestling everywhere we need Liberty Prime. Now that's a motherfucking tag team.
I will say that them coming on the show, I didn't feel like I felt like they acted like they were a team just thrown together. Like, oh, we got a cool name and okay, that's who we are.
The,
And
the
but to
Matt
see them
Murray, Cody Breeze story goes back years. Have you seen some of their video shit? It will fuck
uh-uh.
you up. It will fuck you up. They went deep on some of the storylines.
So I was impressed with their teamwork and their cohesiveness. Um, Not saying Max and Rion weren't, but I think once just all hell broke the fuck loose when Storm and Thorn both got in the fucking ring. You know, like, oh shit. Like at first I really thought like, oh shit. Uh, especially when I looked at how big Kevin Thorne was, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, he ain't come to fucking play. This vampire is about to take a bite out of somebody, and that's all she fucking wrote. I was pretty much done when James Storm uh, put Kevin Thorne's head in a man's crotch. Uh, I was pretty much done at that point.
Any way you slice it, the Sheriff Slamboree was an unmitigated success.
Oh, no doubt.
Raised a lot of money, raised a lot of awareness. People were delighted with the time that they had. And if they do it again next year, I think there'll be an even bigger crowd because I think the people that are there are going to tell their friends.
I agree.
And
I like the fact that they raise um, so much that they were even helping out other charitable organizations that didn't even know it. I think they raised something for teachers in schools, and even and I hated you when you made me stand. But when they acknowledged that they were donating something to the vets, um, you know, and that touched me, especially anybody knows personally what I'm dealing with now with the military. But to know that they even took time to donate, to other organizations, um, I think this was one of far the best charity shows I've ever seen.
I think it did everything it was supposed to do. Our hats off to Nick and Kaylin and Kenobi and Cody for coming together and spearheading a project of that gigantic nature. And I think they've got a good foothold there, and I think they could do it again. So if they call, I'll answer because it was time well spent, and I had a blast calling the matches with you.
No, I did too.
Well, I think that's about all we need to do tonight. We wish
Okay.
Cactus and Rion were here, but they're not. Hopefully they'll be around next week. Next week, I'm not sure if we're doing Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'll get back to you on that. As we approach Fall Brawl, which happens a week from Saturday. No, that's not right. 2 weeks from Saturday. So next Tuesday. Now, see, I got my shit fucked up. Wait a minute. Nothing to see here. Hang on. No, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Next week on this show, you're not going to be here. You're not going to be in attendance. I understand. You're going to be off on assignment, but you've got a co-host to kind of sit in with me to interview our special guest. I hear we get to see Mr. Young again,
Yeah.
and our guest.
What? Huh?
Uh-oh.
I just told him you're gonna be on the show next week. Slow your roll. Calm down. Yeah. Go have a Hennessy or something. Relax. Go. I got this. Can I finish? Thank you. All right.
We're going to start calling you the lovely Mr. Red.
Hey, he's always got an attitude.
So next week, Mr. Young will be on the show. And our special guest will be our returning guest that we've had on a few times. Classic Alpha. Big Chris will be here to talk about the big C3 show that's coming up next weekend, right?
Yeah. August 30th.
August,
There, Indiana.
Mr. Young versus Classic Alpha. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, actually,
Oh,
it
Jesus.
is Team C3 versus the board.
Well, we're going to talk about Team C3, or yeah, Team C3, and we'll talk about Team Board next week on the Power Hour. We want to thank our guest Lili La Pescadita for being fantastic. I hope we get to have her back again. She's a delight. And Red, as always, it's a pleasure. And we'll see you next week. Well, we won't see you next week. We'll see Mr. Young next week, but we'll be back here doing Power Hour stuff next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll let you know. Good night, everybody.